What we have discussed in last session. In last session. What we have discussed in last session. Comparable, comparator, then map, all varieties of map, then any other things? Correct. How we can use map, right? Key and value. How we can access key and value pair? If I have to access all the key and value pairs, what we have to do? Entry set. Map.entry. Correct. Where we can use comparable. Where we can use comparable? Where we have to use comparable? Louder. Where we have to use comparable? If there is more than one attribute in the class, then we have to specify which attribute, using which attribute we have to perform the collection dot sort. Correct. For that we are implementing comparable and we are specifying the default sorting attribute value. Correct. Which attribute we have to take to sort default. Then if I have to give sorting for all the variables, all the attributes, what we can do? We have to create that many comparator for each attribute. Correct. For each attribute we have to create one comparator. Then comparator object we can pass into collection.sort. Correct. Any doubt in these things, whatever we discussed yesterday? Yes or no? Then what is iterator? How it is performing iteration? And what is, if it is just an iterator, or we already know one iterator, right? Iterator kind of item. What is that? What is for each loop? What is the use of for each loop? Iterator is where? So I'm creating one array list. Okay, for using for each loop also I can go through each object, right? Then what is the difference? So I have created some data. How can I use for each loop? For what is data type? Integer. Then I, what is the collection name? Correct. I can go through each elements of this array, right? Yes or no? Then we are going to discuss about iterator. Iterator is also doing the same thing. Is there any difference? Any idea? I already said you have to search about iterator. How many of you have searched about iterator? So what is iterator? Have you searched about the difference between for each loop and iterator? No, just iterator satisfied, right? So what is the difference between for each loop and iterator? If that is same, then why we are using differently? How can I create iterator? Those who have searched, can you please help me to create iterator here? Again you have to search. Iterator. Iterator is a class or interface. What we are using? Interface. What is the data type? Integer. Then I'm creating an object name or reference name. Then what I have to do next? Collection dot iterator. What is the error? What is the error? Iterator is not important. Okay, this is not iterator. Iterator. Okay. Yeah, iterator. Then data type. Iter is one reference I am using. Then collection dot iterator. Then what I have to do? What loop? For or while? We can use for also, no problem. Okay, while. Then iter dot. How many methods are there? Which method we can use? Has next. Okay. Then okay, system dot out dot println iter dot next. Done. For each loop is created, it is going through each element of the array. Iterator is also created, it is also going through each element of the array. Correct? So what is this has next? What is this next? What is an iterator? What is the difference between for each loop and for loop? No, not for loop, for each loop and iterator. Any idea? Implementation we learned easily, right? Without knowing the concept, we learned implementation. Right now we have to learn what is the difference, what is iterator. So while searching these things also, you have to give importance. Not only just how, like you will search, you will find out how to implement it. You also have to know what is the difference between similar items. What is the importance of iterator? Louder. Correct. That is the difference between for each loop and iterator. I can change the data in the array or array list. I can change the data in the array list. But here can I change the data in array list? Why? If I am changing I value, I am changing to whatever I value is there, I will change that to plus 10. Getting my point? What will I get? Before this I will print array, after this also I will print array. What is your expected output? What is your output? Why? Why I am changing here, right? Can I remove one element from array while going through this array? Can I remove one element? Can I modify one data? Why? You have to give me the reason why. Why it is not possible? For each loop is going through each element, correct? So I have to change that element. So what we are doing here, what is this? Listen here, what we are doing here. We are taking first data into a variable, right? If I am modifying anything on that, it will only update in this variable. It will not update in array. Correct? Correct. So can I remove any element in the Can I remove any element from this array? Remove. ARR dot remove I must be object. So I is not integer, I must be object. Like all collection, not all collection, array list collection have to remove data, right? Two remove methods, and one is taking integer, another one is taking object. If I am directly giving one integer value, it will take like polymorphism, right? So it will take the data as integer. So I have to give that as object. How can I give that as object? So right now it is an object. Auto boxing or unboxing? What is this? You have to find out, because that is also one thing I have given. Then can I remove any element in this way? What is this? What is this? Why concurrent modification exception? So I am focusing on that array. After reading, I tried to remove that. Is it possible? No, right? So I cannot modify anything. Understanding what I am saying? Understanding or not? So for each loop I can use only for going through each data. I cannot do any modification on that. Let's try iterator. How iterator is performing? What is the logic of iterator? Consider this is my array. Iterator is a kind of, we can relate that concept with you can see this cursor, right? Cursor is moving, right? So iterator is also creating a cursor kind of checkpoints. So while like we are using array dot iterator, that method we are calling, right? So it will point one cursor at the first position of the array list. So you can see 3. Before 3, it will keep in the first data position, it will keep a cursor kind of marking. So, and from that point, like cursor is right now in this point, we have 2 methods in iterator. One is hash next and next method. Hash next is checking after the cursor, do we have any value? Do we have any value here? Yes, right. So cursor will give us true. If cursor is giving true, we can take the value using next. So hash next is point, like it is giving the idea whether any data is available after the cursor. Next is taking the data. So if I am applying next, I will get 3. And after taking that 3, cursor will move to the next position. Right now, do we have any data? Hash next will give true. Using next, I can take the data. After taking the data, it will move to the next position. Basic logic is same, but we are not taking that into a variable. In for each loop, we are taking all the data into one variable and we are performing operation on that. Here one cursor is there which is moving from data to data. So using next, we can take the data. Hash next will say any data are available after the cursor. So once cursor reaches this point, hash next will give true or false. Where is the cursor now? True, right? Using next, I can take 55 also. then cursor is moving to next point. Is there any data? So hash next will give you right now false. We can stop the operation right now. So this is the operation happening behind iterator. So that is why we are writing the implementation in this way. We are creating the iterator. That means one cursor will be created. Cursor kind of concept is creating, and it is pointing to the first data. And here we are checking any data is available after the cursor. If that is true, we will go and take the data. Okay. So can I update or can I remove the element from the array list after using? Here, how we can remove an element? In iterator itself, we have a method. In iterator, in this variable itself, we have a method. We have a method which we can use for removing the iterated element. Iterated element. I cannot change anything before the iterator. I can change the elements after the iterator. What is before and after? If cursor is here, can you see the cursor there? So I cannot change anything in this portion because this is about to read, correct? I can change anything in this portion. Like actually not changing anything in this portion, actually we are changing the last data. Last data which we have iterated, that I can remove from the collection. So this I am taking, I am reading the data using next. Then I can use that, like after using next, iterator will point to this portion, right? 35. At that time I can remove this portion, remove the last read, like last which value we read, that we can read. So let's try that. Remove I have given. So what will I get? If I am printing the array at last, what is your idea? What will I get? What will be the output? Last one number will be there. Only last number will be removed, right? Are you sure? Why? All numbers will. Why you are saying all number will be removed? Acha, thank you. Okay. So what is the output? All number will be removed because we are going through each element, right? After reading the data, I am removing the data from the list. So I will read all the data means what? I will remove all the data. Getting my point? So are you understanding the difference between? If I have to remove only one number, then I have to check the number, then I can implement it. Like how can I check the number? Iterator dot, I can keep this in a variable. Int I equal to, I'm just taking one variable, that's it. I equal to that iterator data. Then I will print. After that I will check I equal to some particular data. Okay, so if okay, nothing is repeating, right? I will change some data in this. So I'm going to remove 43. So if it is 43, if the data is 43, then I will remove. Otherwise I will not remove. In this way we can do that operation. What data will be printed? What will be the output right now? Everything? What are the outputs I can expect from this line of code? 23? Why 43 will not print? Huh? Why 43 will not print? Louder. My question is, what will be the output in the console at last? Nothing will be printed. Once again, listen everyone. Iterator I have created. Has next. Where is the iterator right now? Where is the iterator right now? Before 23, right? So has next is true or false? True. I will take the data into I. What data I will take? 23. I am printing 23, right? I will print 23, right? Then I will check 23 is 43 or not. It is not 43. I will not perform anything here. Again I will move to the next position. What is there? True or false? I will take the data into I. So cursor will move to here. Data here will be 43. I will print 43. I will check and I will remove the 43 value from collection. So how many things I will get at last? What are the data I will get at last? 23, 240. Why 43 will not print? When it is getting removed? After printing. I'm talking about the entire output. Already I said I selected this. What will be the output? First it will print all the elements. At the end we will get only 23, 246, 255. Correct. Correct. First we will print all the elements. Then we will, like at last, after this loop, not loop, after this iteration, only these three items will be there. 43 will be avoided. 43 will be removed. Any doubt? So this operation I cannot perform in for each loop. Correct. I can just go through all the element. I cannot modify the already iterated element. Here already iterated element I can remove, modify in the array. Adding is not there, I think. Yes, that last iterated element I can remove. That's it. Correct. Any doubt? Any doubt on iterator? I can use this on anything. Here we are using this on integer. We can use. We will go through the objects. Yes. Anything in collection. We will go through each elements of the collection. So any doubt in iterator? Yes or no? Then search about association and aggregation in Java. Classes, class aggregation, class association. What is class association? What is the example given there? What is the example given there? In that, what difference you can see? Like, what is there anything which you have not experienced? Can you see anything there? What is association? Relationship between two classes. If it is one object, if the relationship is like one object is related to another object of different class, then it is association. If one object of one class is related to n number of objects of different class, then it is aggregation. So how we can make that relation? What is the example given there? Read that example. Class, person. So how many attributes are there in class, in person class? Name will be string, right? Then age, then what is address? So what is address here? What is this address? That is a class. That is a class. Here the data type is what? What is this data type? This is a user defined class. So let's consider class address. How many things can be added in address? Listen here. How many things we can add in address? House name, correct. So string, house name, then so int or what we can take? Number, house number. Int is enough, right? Okay, int house name, house number, then street, road number is not required, right? Like street is enough. Then pin code. So pin code we can take we can take short, byte, everything. I'm just taking integer right now for example. Pin code. Then we can also keep state and country also, correct. District, state, all those things also we can add. So what is this? If I am creating an object of address, how many items are there? 4 items are there in that object, right? This object can be a field for person class. Field, attribute, variable. Data type is address. Home address can store home name, house name, house number, street and pin code. This is a class, right? In this class I can add another class as a reference. So this is a variable in person class, and this variable can hold this many items. Association. One object of address is related to person's object. Object to object. One object to another object. One object to another object of different class relationship. Object to object relationship is class association. Any doubt? Are you understanding what is this? Because this we are going to implement in our project, car rental project. Here I am creating person object. P dot address will be what? Home address will be what? If I am printing P dot home address, this is actually what? An object of address class. How can I get house name of this person? This is the object of address, right? Dot, I can apply get. Getting my point? We will discuss, I will create this in our Eclipse. So here I am going to create person class. Listen carefully. Here I am going to create person class. I have created person and I will create address. Any error? So how many things I have to implement in this class to complete the implementation? I can create constructor, right? Then getter setter, then toString, then here also getter setter, toString already constructor is added, getter setter is added, toString is also added. Done, right? What happened? I just added all those things. This is what we do always, right? Here I have to give private. That is only one thing remaining. Yes. That is also done. Anything left? Then how can I create an object of person? First I will create address. Address object. How can I create address object? New. What are the data for address? House name. We will give. I'm just giving what we will give. I am giving India. Okay. What is next? House number 91. Then street New Delhi. Then what is this last one? Pin code. I will give 32. Address is created, right? Address is created, right? Then I'm creating person. New name. Then age. Address is already added. Okay. Address is added, right? What is this address? What is this address? What is this address? We created an object and I passed that object into this address. Getting my point? So person object is containing P. P is containing address, like this is an object of another class. This I am containing inside this person. One object of person is related to another object, like one object of another class. Object to object relation. So how can I get the pin code of Mallikarjun? How can I get the pin code of Mallikarjun from here? System.out.println p dot we have get home address. How we can get ADDR? What is ADDR? Get home address dot get pin code. So by using this, what we are accessing? Listen carefully. We are accessing get home, correct? Get home address. What is the return type? What is address? Class. Class object I will get. From that object, can I implement dot get pin code. Get pin code is a method of address class, right? So I am implementing that on the object of address object. Address object I am getting from p dot get home address. This is called association. One object of person is related to address object, one object of address. Any doubt? Is this clear? So this is what we are going to create in our project also. Any doubt in this concept?
Different objects of different classes.
Correct. So class aggregation, right? Here we can say one object is in relationship with n objects, n objects of another class. Okay, we will consider one another example. So can I remove this example? Okay. So class I am taking, let's say listen here. Listen here carefully. Listen, what is this? Student class, right? How many items are there in student class? ID and name. What is this? Department. How many items are there in department? ID, name. Or I can take professor also. It is department, right? So I can take professors. So I will take here. So based on one department, how many professors are there? That I can list down. Getting my point? So how many professors I can list down here? 2. How many professors I can give here? N, right? Many. In one department object, I can store n professor objects. Yes. So aggregation means what? One object of a class is related to n objects of another class. Do I have to create an example for this? Because it will be same like what we did in association. We will create n objects and we will store that as an array list, and that array list object will be added into the field of this department class. Getting my point? Do I have to create this again? Are you understanding or not? Yes or no? Any doubt? So association means what? One object is related to another object of different class. Aggregation means what? Idea is clear, right? Okay, then we will discuss about our project. So this is our project, right? Read the question. Read the question. Car rental system. What are the entities we have in this system? How many entities we have in the system? 3. Car, customer. Okay, I have changed that name, like I have changed it to rental details. It was reservation, right? Yes. I changed that to rental. Just the name I changed. Then what are the fields available in car? Company, model, year. You can take the data from this question, right? Rental price. This is enough. Then what about customer? Name. Okay, ID, name. So if I am taking one ID proof, then I don't have to add anything else, right? Everything will come in that ID proof. So I am taking ID I am generating for the system. Auto generating. This ID I am going to auto generate in the system. So user can come with this ID and name or anything, everything, both are fine. If I am just using other ID and name, that is also fine, or other ID itself is fine. You can design your system in that way, no problem. So here I am using one auto generation ID for customer. So when new customer is coming, he will get a new ID. Using this ID, again he can log in into the system. Then what is next? Rental class. How many things I have to keep in rental class? What is the first thing? Okay, starting date, end date. Then the car. So what can I take here? What will I take here? Customer details is required, car details is required. How can I take that? Association rule. Class association we will do here. We are taking car object and customer object in rental class. So let's create this in our project. Create a new project for your this new project. Create a new Java project for this. What is the project name? Car rental system. Create a new project. Make it fast. Create a new project. So after creating the project, in that package, in that project, you have to create a package. Create a package called model classes. Create it fast. Model classes. Then you can create all your model classes one by one. How many model classes are there? How many model classes are there? Package name is what? Model classes. Then I am creating the first model class. Any doubt? This is how, you know how to create the model classes, right? Create it fast. All three model classes you have to create. So first create the car. Then what are the things you have to add here? Constructor, getter, setter, toString. Add all the details one by one. So car model I created. Then I have customer. After creating, don't forget to save the file. Save the file. Go and create the next class, model class. How many things I have to create in customer? Customer. Int ID. ID is what? How can I auto generate? Then private, what is next item? Name. Then that also created. ID is auto generated, don't forget. While creating getter setter, it will auto generate that ID, set ID. We can remove that set ID. Any doubt in creating customer class? No, right? Any doubt in creating customer class? Only one thing is auto generating the ID. For that we have to write this code. That's it, right? This program also you have to serve. Then create the next class. What is the next class name? Rental. How many things are there here to create? Start date, end date. How can I create start date and end date? Private. Okay, string. You can try even date concepts also. Date classes are available in Java. You can search and you can try that also. Predefined classes are available. Not now, we will do that later. Right now we will just focus on how to create this in string. We have to take from this anyway. So if you are using predefined classes, it will be easy for you to implement the items. So that you can focus later. Right now I'm just creating that as string. Then what are the other things required here? Listen carefully now, everyone. Private car is the data type. Then car, private, customer is the data type, right? This is what we discussed, right? Association rule. Then how we can create the remaining things? What are the remaining things required? Constructor, getter setter, toString. Created. So I have created 3 model classes. Save the code. Any doubt in creating 3 model classes? Car, customer, rental. Then our model class creation is done. If you have any model classes after, we can add model classes after this also, right? If you have any new model classes are there in your project, you can create that here. That is why we are separating the code. We are not keeping everything together. We are just aligning or we are just separating the code with its behavior. Then we have to create another package. So before creating that package, we will discuss how many services I have to provide to user. What are the services I can provide to user from this project? See here, what is this line? What is your services? What are the services you are going to provide from this? To book a rental or to make a rental car first customer how to see how many cars are available, right? So how can I create a method that will show all the available cars? So where I will store the cars? How can I store the cars? Tell me, how can I store the cars? Array list. Cars, correct? Then only I can store n number of objects, right? This is what we did for storing n number of objects in previous programs also. If I have to store n number of objects, I can create the array list of that particular class. So I can store n number of objects in that. So array list of cars. So I can say new array list. Correct. Created an array list. This I will keep as for all the objects. This will be common. Whatever object I am creating for car rental system, this will be common. Correct. Getting my point? Okay. So car I created. How can I print all the cars or display all the cars to user? For that I have to create a method. What are the things I have to add here? Public, correct. Continue. Array of what? Cars. I will call this as get all cars. Done. What I will do, this is just abstract form I am creating, abstract form. One abstract form I am creating. In this what I will do? I will return cars. That is enough, right? In this method what I will do? In this method, both items will be there in one class. If it is in both the same class, then I can write the implementation as what? Return cars. So if I am calling this, I will get the car, number of car. Then how can I make a booking? Okay, I forgot to add one item. What is this available car? Available car. Why available word is coming there? So can this car can be unavailable? If somebody is using or rented, already the car is in rented, then can I give that same car to another person at the same time? So that how I will identify. Getting my point? If one car is already rented on the same date, how can I give that same car to another person? That is not possible. So it should not show in the available car list. So how we can make this invisible from that list? So for that we have to add one more parameter in our class, in our model class, that is fine. So I am just changing all these things because I have to add that is available also here, right? So I am again auto generating. So I added available also, is available also. ToString is also generated. Just one thing I added, is available. So that will become true if it is available. It will become false if it is not available. Car is not available. Saved that one. So here we are saying get all car. That means all the cars will be given to that user. But we have to actually give what? Only available car. Getting my point? Get available cars. available cars we will take from this method. So I cannot just write return car. I have to go through all the car and find out how many cars are available. That list I have to give to the user. I don't have to show which car is already, like the car which is already in rent. That I don't have to display to user. So get available car is one method. If right now I am using for displaying to user. Then, so after seeing this message, user can book a car, right? For that, can you write a method? Public what? We are going to book a car. How many cars can be booked? How many objects we will create in booking? Where we will store these items? Where we will store these n items of what is the object? No, booking, rental. So I will also create n rental objects if n users are coming and taking n cars. So n rental objects I will create where I will store these items. So I have to create static array list of what? Rental details. Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? So right now, how can I add one new rental detail into this array? For that I am going to write a method. Do I have to add any return type for this? How can be the method? Void, correct. Then add rental, correct. Then anything required from user? What is that? I can take the rental object, correct. If I am taking rental object means how many things will be there? Customer details, car details, start and end. Everything is there, right? So I am taking rental object. So what I have to do in this method? How can I add this rental object into array list? How can I add rental object into rental array list? Array list dot object dot add rental. Done, right? Fine. Any other things are required for? Okay, we have to find out the total cost. How we can find out the total cost? What is mean by total cost? The rental price which we are displaying is what? What is that rental price? Per day. So starting date and ending date is there. Based on the starting and ending date, we have to find out how many days user is using that car and what will be the charge. Getting my point? That we have to calculate on booking time itself. So how can I write a code for that? So I can do one thing. While adding that rental itself, I can call another method from this method, or here itself I can return the data, that price data. Getting my point? While adding that into rental array itself, I can call another method from this particular method for finding the total rent, total price, and I can return that value from here itself, so that I don't have to call any other method. This method itself will add the data into the system and also find out the result and give it back to user. Getting my point? So I can do this as float. So that implementation we have to write here. We are right now focusing on only the abstract form, because we are going to add these things into these abstract methods. We are going to add into the interface of our project. Any other things are required? How can I identify customer? So what is required for that? How can I identify each customers? We have to record that, right? Each customer details. When a new customer is coming, I have to identify that and I have to add that as a new object. If already the customer which is already recorded in the system, then I don't have to add again. Correct. Customer detail, if customer details is already there, then I don't have to add. So verification also you can do. Without this customer object, how can I create rental object? Getting my point? Guys, without creating customer object, how we can create rental object? For creating rental object, I required customer object, right? So anyway, we have to store the number of customers details. So that is also created. Then anything else required from the user side? Add the customer details. Good. So how can I write the method? Void add customer details. What we required? Customer. Fine. Anything else required? Think. Anything else required? This is actually an implementation part, right? This is our abstract methods. So about user, okay, I can also add cars by company, filter cars by company. Can I do that? Can I filter the cars by company name, model name? That also you can add as a new methods, this abstract method, and you can implement it. Filtering, like we can say available cars by company name or in company, in this company, and you can pass the company name as string. You can compare that and give only the available, like only the car which is available in that company, particular company. So in that way you can create n items. I'm giving you some more idea on this. So we will focus on this right now. Then how many other details are required? Car detail I have to add. How can I add car details into the system? Who will add that? Users. Admin. So these are user operations, right? These are user operations. Admin operations are also required. Correct. These operations, these services. These services we are providing to user, right? Some services should be there for admin. Then only admin can enter the car details, or admin will view all the available cars, or all the cars, all the users. That is already there, right? In rental. Rental object contains starting date and end date. So how many other things are required from the side of user? These services are for user. Sorry. How many other things are required for admin? How many operations are required for admin to complete, like to perform this system? We have to add car detail. How can I add car detail? Void, then add car. correct. What we will take here, correct, done. Then anything else? Anything else required? Admin, how to see all the cars, not available car, all the cars. So what can be the method there? Public array list car get all cars. Okay. Then same, if admin how to see all the customers, then all rental details, then it is already okay, that we will discuss, even though if we are like this item we are giving for user, right, this can be accessible by admin. In that way only we will create this. Getting my point? All these operations can be accessible by admin. In that way we will create this. So car, okay, here rental details also I am taking. Then anything else? Any other operations are required for admin? Any other services are required for admin? Admin services is also our duty, right? We have to create it. So any other things are required here? Think. Okay, we have to, that price you are saying, right? We have to calculate that here. Add rental. While adding that rental itself, we have to find out the price and we have to give that price to user. Not required. Every day it is open. You don't have to think about shop. It is online website. Right, full time, 24/7 services. Any other things are required right here, or we will start our implementation. Price details we will give that to user from here. So we don't have to write another one. Okay, how can I verify a user or how can I verify a customer? Admin and customer, we have to write a identify or like validation. How can I validate them? So here we will give, in user we will give customer verification. How we can write that? What are the things required as a method? Customer verification. How can I do that verification? Create a method for that. Boolean. It will give true or false, like based on that validation. Okay. One method I created. How many things are required here? Okay. Customer object is not required, right? If customer is already there, we will not create again an object. So only customer, not customer, we will add customer. What are the things available for customer? Customer name and ID. Okay, so customer ID and customer name we will take. Getting my point? We don't have to create an object for that. When we will create an object, if customer is not there, at that time this is correct. We are creating an object, passing it into this method. This method will add that into the pool, storage pool. So here customer ID, then customer name. Customer name. Two items are enough, right? Customer ID will be anyway unique. Correct. So customer ID and name I am giving. Gone. Or let's say we are taking Aadhaar. Only Aadhaar is enough for verification. Done. So but Aadhaar number also we can get another person's Aadhaar number, right? I can type another person's Aadhaar number, right?
It's user spot.
But yeah, I can log in into that Aadhaar number account. Here I am saying, I can see what is your Aadhaar number. I can type that here. Correct. So some unique item should be there, which is only ID we can use. That is why I used ID and customer. I'm just verifying. That's it. Along with ID, I'm just verifying name also. You can write like that is what I said. This is my business logic I'm implementing. You can use any business logic here. You can create a password for customer also. That also can be used for verification. Fine. So this is verifying the customer. Correct. This is verifying the customer. Even for we have to create the same thing for admin. How can I do that? Boolean validate admin. So what are the things you have to know about validating the admin? What are the things required for validating the admin? For admin, we can do one thing. I will take admin ID. 1 second, listen here. I am taking admin ID and username. Username and admin ID I am taking. I will show you where you have to implement this. Fine. So you have created, like we have selected some services for our project. These are the services we are providing in our project. First 4 services are based on user. Second 5 services are based on admin. So I am taking this from here. You have to create a new package. Give the package name as, listen here, give the package name as service interface. Service interface. Create an interface inside that. Name, user, services. User services. Create it fast. Service interface package, user services. Do it fast. So how many things are there related to user interface? User services. That I am taking. Remaining I kept as comment. I am keeping that as comment here. So I have given all that for user services. I have to import all the classes. So I am importing all the classes. So this is our interface where I have listed all my services as abstract class. Then where I will keep these remaining operations? In admin. So I can create admin interface as another file. Interface admin interface admin interface. Inside this I will keep all the remaining methods which is related to admin and import all the classes. Completed? Admin interface in service interface class. So user services are there, admin services are there. Where we will implement these things? These are abstract methods, where we will implement this method. Subclass, right? So that subclass we will create in another package. Package name you can give a service implementation. Here we have created an interface or service abstraction. Here right now we are creating implementation. Service implementation. I have given the class name as car rental system, or I can actually give, here I can give, don't create in this name, here I can give user service implementation. Only user service implementation I will do here. So from where I have to inherit the properties? How can I inherit that? So service implementation is a package I created. Inside that I am creating user service implementation. User service implementation is a class I am creating in service implementation. So we have abstraction in this service interface, right? We have created interfaces, two interfaces. One is for user and one is for admin. So we are going to implement that interface in user service implementation. So how can I inherit it? One interface I am going to inherit into my class. Implements user services. What is the error right now? Implemented. Correct? Okay, then we will go to the next part. We will implement this later. We will create the next class. What is the next class available, like we have to create? Admin service implementation. Then what I have to do here? Implements admin interface. We have to implement unimplemented methods. So that also I have taken. So that also I have added, but we have to write the implementation part in all the methods. So we have 3 collections also, right? Where we will keep this collection? In which implementation we will keep this collection? We have the 3 collection, right? Where we can keep the collection? In admin or user? Even though if I am keeping in user or admin, I have to use that in all, user and admin. And also one thing is there, admin operation I don't have to use in user class. All the user class operation I have to use in admin class. All these things should be matching. What implementation we can do for this? All the things we have learned, but you have to connect this. Admin details, admin item, whatever items are here, whatever services are here, that we don't have to give access to user object, user service implementation object. But all the operations of user service implementation, I have to get the access in admin. Admin service implementation, this class, into this class. All the properties of this class I have to get in this class. So what I have to do? Extends what? User service implementation. Are you understanding? So admin service implementation class is there. Correct. Admin service implementation class is there. I am extending all the properties of user service implementation, so that all the items inside, all the services inside that user service implementation, that I can use in admin also, right? But admin service implementation can I use in user object, user service implementation object? No. Getting my point? Then where we will keep this array list? Where we will keep this array list? We can right now keep this array list in user. It can be accessible anywhere, right? So listen here. How many items are here in our project right now? User, service, interface is there, right? User service interface is there. Then admin service, that is also an interface. Correct. We have user service implementation is there, right? Correct. This is a class. Then admin service implementation is there, right? That is also a class. So this class is inheriting user service, correct? And this class is inheriting admin service. So all the user service I will implement in this class. Using implements I am inheriting all the items inside this user service in a user service implementation. And user service like admin service I am implementing in admin service. So I will use implements admin service in this class, correct? Then we are going to link these two items. So how many things we did? Implements what? User services, correct? Here what we did? Implements admin services, correct? Then we also have to use all the properties of user service implementation in admin service implementation. For that what we did? Extends understanding now? So these two items are classes, these two items are interfaces. This we have kept in service interface. This we have kept in service implementation package. Getting the point right now? So that is what we did right now. So in user service implementation I have kept this collection. So I can access this in admin interface also, right? Can I access this in admin interface? So that is why we kept here. Then we will focus on the implementation of all these methods. How can I get all the available cars? Available cars, okay, this is available cars. How can I get all the available cars? So how can I check? There is n number of cars then. Car. So what I will do is I will create an array list of car, array list of car. I will call it as available cars equal to new array list. Then I have to go through all the cars. How can I write a program? For each. How can I go through this one? Cars. What I have to check always? Car dot is available. If it is true, then what I have to do? Add that car into available dot add car. So I will only add available car into this array list, right? At last I will pass that array list here. Done. One method implementation is done. It is easy, right? Then what is next one? What we are doing in add rental? How we can add a rental object into our array? First we have to how we can add this rental into the rental array? What is rental array name? Rental details dot add rental. We added the rental details. Only one thing you have to implement is based on the dates you have to figure out what is the total price. That logic you have to implement. First you have to find out how many days we can find out using that string data. 2 string data are there with the dates. From that you have to find out how many days are there. Then multiply that with the per day. Then only you will get the total price. So that logic you have to write here, then pass it, and so that we can get the rental price, total rental price. How can I add a customer? Customer what is customer array name? Customers. Okay. Customers dot add customer. Customer will be added. Done. Then what is next? Validation. How can I validate a customer? I have to access all the objects in the customer array. How can I go through all the objects in the customer array? Not car, customer, customer. Then what is the collection name? Customers. I have to go through each customer object. Then what will I check? If customer ID equal to, so how can I access this customer ID? Customer dot customer ID, correct. Customer dot get ID equal to customer ID, correct. Customer is an object, right? In that we have ID. To get that ID, it is a private variable. So I have to use getter setter. Get ID I am using, and I am comparing that with the given customer ID. Also I have to check one thing, and customer dot get name. Can I use equal to in string? Dot equals customer name, correct. These are our basic ideas what we learned in first module, correct. Then so if it is validating, then what I have to do? Return true, correct. Which one? If return true. I'm not using any bracket opening and closing because only one statement is there, right? And if none of the customer objects are matching with this, then we will say false. So customer have to create the account first, then only we will give the access to the system. Then what is next method? Okay, this method is done. All the methods in this class is done. Then we have to implement the remaining thing in admin. Doubt? What is that? Get available cars. You can use anything, no problem. Then for like, why are you using iterator there? Don't remove items. We cannot remove items. Why? Because if I am removing from cars, I require the data, right? It is my. How can I complete admin service? How can I add a car? How can I add a car? How can I add a car? Cars dot add car. How can I print all the or how can I get all the cars detail? What we have to do here? Return cars. Then what about get all customers? Return customers. Correct. Then what we have to do in all rental? Return what? Rental. rental details, right? Here I am using rental details as name. Then what we have to do in admin? So admin, do you know what is the admin name and admin username of admin? So I have to create a default one. Like I will not create multiple admin account. So I don't have to store different accounts. Only one admin role I will give. Using that admin ID and username, that admin how to log in. None of the other names will be noted, like all or we will store. So what I am going to do is, in our admin interface is there, right? I can create a final data. How can I create a final data here? Public. Anyway, if I am creating a variable, that will be final, right? Public admin. No, what is the data type? Int admin ID equal to, I can give one dummy data. Only this data admin can use. Again I will use public string admin name. One second. Admin name equal to, we can give a name also. So listen here, we have given two final datas. We cannot change this data anymore. Correct? So we can use this data for validation, right? In admin, like how can I write the validation code here? If, where is that admin ID? In admin interface, right? How can I use that? Admin interface dot, can I use admin ID? Admin ID equal to admin ID. We are passing admin ID, right? We will take the admin ID from the admin who is going to log in. Then how can I take the name, username? Interface dot admin name dot equals username. Done. Everything is done. So if it is satisfying, then return. So I can say, actually I can say I don't have to use if. I can directly return. This is the logic we did from beginning, right? Here what I will make a boolean data. That boolean data I will pass directly to the method. Correct? Any doubt? Any doubt in this? So I will share this code with you. This code I will share with you. You have to work on another project. First you have to create this project in your Eclipse. Then you have to start working on another project. Or else you have to work out this project. I will not share the code. Which option is required? So this code I will share with you. You have to create this in your Eclipse first. Then focus on the other project. See, we have created lot of services, right? Where we will use this service? Yes, we have to create a main method, right? For that, you have to create one more package. One more package. User interaction will be there in one package. Service implementation will be there in one package. Service abstraction will be there in one package. So if I have to add new module into my system, I can directly go to the abstraction. I can add that method there. So in my system I have to implement that everywhere. Getting my point? If I have to add a new service into my system, I can directly go to the abstract class, abstract package. In that interface class, I can add that method as an abstract method. Correct? So all the subclasses has to implement it. Otherwise it will show error, right? Getting my point? Getting my point? So that is why we are creating different packages. We can do all the things in one place, but the problem is everything we cannot separate that. If it is a big project, we have to search the file. For searching the file itself, we will take a lot of time. So here we have to create one new package. You can say, don't give main method for that package name. Package name you can say user or okay, car rental management. Okay, car rental management. Inside this I can create one class. In this car rental management package, we can create one manager class. Like anything, we can give a class name as car rental manager. In this we will create the main method. You have to design your project. Designing means what? Already our back-end operations we given. Right now we are focusing on the front end, console, interaction with the user, right? Everything we are doing as a Java project. It is not a web project, Java project. So back-end operation we did as an implementation part, service implementation. Then here we are focusing on the user interaction. So console application. So you can create, you can design the project. First you can give a message to user that are you an admin or customers. Based on that you can take admin detail or customer detail. You can verify that. If it is matching, then we will give the operations. What are the operations? We have listed some services, right? You can give that details as informations. Options. From that option user will select the option. Based on that you can perform the logic. So that main method part you have to implement. Getting my point?